channel. I thought I'd start a new segment this week rather than doing individual releases. I thought I'd think of some way to group everything together that I've been watching or has been catching my interest and put together what is pretty much my watch list for the past week or so. So, where to start? Well, one of the nice things about lockdown has been a change in routine, and the eldest daughter decided we should maybe have a movie night every week where each of us takes it in turn to pick a different movie and make the rest of us watch it, and then we can discuss it or just enjoy basically family time together. And this week it was my turn to pick a movie for the rest of the family. Now, my daughters are pretty much like anybody else's daughters. I think they'll spend their lives living on YouTube. So I thought I'd pick some classic kids movie from my childhood and get them to see what they thought. And the one that I picked of the plethora of options that I had was the original Karate Kid. Things that I didn't expect. It's for 2 hours long. I watched it and kind of like, was it really 2 hours long? Given that most movies that we'll watch now are like 90 minutes or so, this was a full 2 hours. Really great movie still. I mean, I think that movie has everything in many ways. The very last scene is a bit cringy. It's a bit too much, but you know, an enjoyable watch. Especially the youngest daughter. When it came towards the crux of the final fight, Johnny's fighting against Daniel, and I says, "What do you think?" And the youngest daughter, without turning around, just give the bird to Johnny on the screen. Pure anger inside her at how, what a scumbag he is. So their middle finger went up and she was furious, and then of course everything works out, etc., and she was a happy girl. The eldest daughter, for the first hour, is quite slow. It is. First hour was a bit bored, but then once things started to go, she had the same thought that I think I did, and that every kid has watching that movie when Mr. Miyagi is making him do his chores, is like, that guy is a joke. He's an absolute joke. He's just getting him to do jobs, and then he's going to teach him a wee bit of karate at the end, and then he's going to think that's alright. That's not alright. So that was Karate Kid. So what else have I been watching this week? Post's been a bit slow. I don't mind that, that's fine, but things that I pre-ordered have been not coming in at this time that maybe they normally would have, so when things come in, they tend to come all together. And the new Arrow releases for the month, some of them at least, have come in, and I've watched them. So what were they? What have I watched? What did I see? Well, there were two. One is this slipcover version of Gazoo. Gazoo is a, I suppose, Nordic horror tale that's kind of set in some undetermined part in the early part of the 1200s, 1300s, 1400s, 1500s, whatever. That whole period melds together for me as far as time goes, and it tells the story of a young girl, initially anyway, who lives with her mum, and her mum's a witch of some sort who dies, and then it jumps forward to later on. It's a really spookily shot and spooky themed film as she lives in isolation. Still, she's a baby and she looks after the baby, and it's a bit creepy in general. And I got to the end, didn't know what to think. Beautifully shot movie. I mean, the landscape of the Nordic area, absolutely gorgeous. You couldn't put a foot wrong there. But the themes in it were, I mean, it was hard to watch sometimes. It's very difficult to watch. But then over the next couple of days I started to think about it and go, maybe the events that happened later are not chronological. Maybe, and to my mind anyway, if I took some of those scenes and put them in a different order, it makes a lot more sense than what I thought it had initially. And it stayed with me, and I do want to watch it again, because some of my suspicions about what I think the movie is came to light. I've read some other ones subsequently online, reviews, etc., and they have a slightly different take on it as well. And I thought, right, that's really something interesting in that. And this is it's a beautiful soft slipcase here. It has a soundtrack CD if you can manage to pick this up as well. This movie's almost like a silent movie. There's hardly any speech in it whatsoever. Anything that there is very, very slight, and it's very much about the visuals and the horror that's been communicated in some ways. So that's Gazoo. It's one of those films, it's either a 3 or a 4, 4.5. I haven't made my mind up. It's one of those ones that I feel will improve the more that I watch it, and the more that it is. But yeah, wonderful movie that there is there. The other one that came out is one called Empathy Inc. And Empathy Inc. tells the story of a man who works in investment finance, falls in hard times, has to move away from his current job in the city, moves out in with his in-laws, and gets presented with an opportunity from an old acquaintance to invest in a VR firm. And the VR firm it's basically selling the story that you can live somebody else's life at the moment who's worse off than you, just so that you get some perspective back in your life if you think things are bad. Get somebody to invest in this company, and that's where the trouble starts, so to speak. It's shot in like a black and white. It's one of those films, I realised it initially, but I never realised that the entire thing was shot like that until maybe 2/3 of the way through the movie, when I kind of went, oh, this hasn't changed at all. Some great acting in it. Not too many big names that you'll recognise in the movie. It's not a big name kind of thing, but again, a really solid thrillery sci-fi kind of movie. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Not one that'll be selling on. I'll be keeping it to watch it again, because I think there's some interesting ideas in it. The last set of Blu-rays that I want to talk about are from the one director. I'm trying to work my way through his catalogue of movies. I've seen a couple of his before, but it is Rainer Werner Fassbinder's, and the Arrow Academy releases primarily of Effie Brest and The Marriage of Maria Braun. I'll start with Effie Brest. Briest it probably is, if I remember my German correctly. But Effie Briest is a classic folklore tale, I think, from that region. From the extras in it, it's the one film that Fassbinder did that wasn't his own original material. And it tells the story of a young lady who gets promised to another man. And I mean, it's a period drama in many ways. It's a period drama by Fassbinder. It has the same themes that nearly every period drama I've ever seen. I often joke with the wife that there's no point watching a period drama because it's only got one of two storylines. It's either the unrequited love or the forbidden love. It's one of those two things, and one of those is in here without spoiling too much. It's a long enough movie. It's 140 minutes. 140 minutes of a movie to watch, so over 2 hours 20 to watch. And it's another movie that I'm going to need to think about again. Some of it was quite slow and quite dry. There didn't seem to be an awful lot happening as it went along. But I mean, it's shot beautifully. Some of the camera work by Fassbinder is incredible. Like, it's very noticeable how he uses a mirror in this film especially. And it creates some lovely, fake scenes. So when two people are talking to each other, you think they're talking in one way, and then it turns out that one of those bits was in a mirror, so actually it changes the scene a little bit. It's subtle, but it's very beautifully done, and it's a movie that I've thought about a lot after the fact, as it goes through that Effie's life, and it's basically her life story, so to speak. So that was the first one, and the second one is Marriage of Maria Braun, and it stars the same lady in the lead role. And Maria Braun is a young girl initially who, the film starts with her getting married. It shows her marriage to a high-ranking official in the German army, so to speak, and then he goes missing. And then it tells the story of how she tries to adapt and how her life goes, where she's still holding on to the idea that he is alive. She wants to hold on strongly to his memory, but she needs to survive, and especially survive in post-war life. So she uses her feminine wiles to do it, and she manipulates people, and she doesn't see anything bad in it. And I think there's a good job of not feeling like you're able to judge your character very much. She is doing what she needs to do to survive, and I really enjoyed Maria Braun. It's a really interesting, meaty story to get into. There's lots happens throughout the movie. There's lots of events that happen to break it up that again get you to push your opinion of, wow, is what's she doing okay? I said to my wife as I was watching it, as she was watching me watch it, it's a funny movie for a man to write such a feminist movie. And I think it's a very feminist movie. It's very much saying, like, I'm in control here. She knows what she's doing. She's very well aware of what she's doing, and it's for other people to accept her for that. So really interesting watch. Also, I've got a couple more to get through, and I probably will do over the next couple of weeks. I like to spread these things out so that I don't kind of rush all into it all at once, and I can kind of ruminate and think on what those movies were. So that's the main things that I've been watching. Yeah, I'll stick my Letterboxd profile down in the description so you can see everything that I've been watching. There's a few bits here and there, some great movies, some lesser movies in there to keep you up to date. It's my youngest daughter's turn to pick the movie this week. God knows what we're gonna have to see. I am planning, because the post is starting to arrive in, I'm planning to make my way through some of the BFI stuff that I've picked up from their 2 for 16 offer in HMV, and also the Eureka stuff that I'd ordered has started to come in. In fact, this came in today. So Zoo Warriors from the Mountain, it and Kwaidan came in today. So I'll be making my way through some of these, and I'll hopefully check in with you soon. Tell me what you've been up to, what you've been watching. Have you any thoughts about the movies that I've seen or been talking about here today? Talk to me down in the comments, and I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.